Alrighty, hello everybody, and welcome to the 25-26 season kickoff session. So we are all super excited to be here. Most of you should know who all of us are, but just in case you don't, I am Athena Delgado. I am the National Director of Player and Director Engagement. And then I'll let everyone else introduce themselves as well.
Well, and I'm Michael Gonzalez, and I am the National Director of Support.
I am Kat Kennedy-Halbert, and I am the Director of Professional Programs.
Amazing. Perfect. So now that you all know who we are, we're going to go ahead and stroll on in. So as always, if this is your first time as a director, we always start all of our lovely slides with a quote. The quote that spoke to us was, "The beginning is always today," which is an exciting one from Louisa May Alcott. Yep. So glad you're all very excited. All right, perfect. So today for our agenda, we're going to go over a couple of quick items today. We have myth versus reality, pro updates, director updates, why play the ACL, player updates, director updates again, and we are also growing.
All right, so, as we have a lot of new directors this season and a lot of new players, which means, comes a lot of myths and reality. So we just want to put a couple out here that I've heard recently. I'm going to take the first two here. The first one being wallet usage. The myth out there around some players is like they feel like directors must use the wallet to run events. And, the reality is that that's not the case. You can run all the events you want on cash only. We do, enjoy when people use the wallet. We like the security of the wallet, not carrying cash at events. However, it's not required. And so, the myth of must using the wallet is not there. So that's a big one I've heard. And then the next one I heard quite a bit recently, and people that are interested in being directors, is that, the ACL takes money out of my local events. And, that myth as well is not true. The ACL does not take any fees or, percentages of anything coming out of any local events. So club directors, they can run unlimited local events, and there's no per player fee or no entry fees attested to those. You're on mute.
I know. It gave me that little thing across the top. Mike's muted. Thankfully, it reminds me. Sorry, guys. Athena muted me earlier, and I forgot. I'm going to take these next two. So players. All pro players are leaving to play in other organizations. I can tell you that is so not true, because with my new title, I would not have a job if that was true. In reality, we have 389 pros that have fully signed their contract, and that doesn't even include the Canadian pros. I have been actively updating it. Like, I wanted the most up-to-date number, and that is where we are right now, which is amazing for us. And then pro teams and minor league teams. Myth right now that we keep hearing is there won't be a pro or minor leagues this season. Reality is that pro teams is really, really exciting, and we're having meetings like internally constantly, and that is definitely coming. That announcement will happen within the next few weeks. We just want to make sure all the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted and all the bows are tied before we launch something out there. Also, Athena is super excited about minor league teams and is looking forward to release that very soon. So all of those are myths. Beautiful. Do only pros and point chasers play ACL? I cannot tell you how wrong that is. As you look at that graph in front of you, unique players in our 24-25 season, 87% of those were just casual level players, right? When we looked at casual to high, your high level is your elite from last season and or your pro from last season. And that only made up 13% of the player base. So it's so inaccurate when everyone says ACLs for your point chaser, ACLs for this person that wants to be pro. Like, it's just not the case. And then tournament entries by level. Yes, our high level players definitely take up a larger percentage on this because they are playing more, right, than our casual players. However, it's still a 70-30. So our casual players are the majority of our player base across the board. All right, we're going to move into some pro updates. Pro onboarding has been actively happening since pretty much the mid of September. Offers were set out through Spencer's, contracts were sent. All the top 100 and Canada pros have completed their contract. Every single person that's in our top 100 and Matt's Canada pros are signed and executed and good to go. Our remaining pro contracts must be signed by tomorrow unless reached out to me separately for a specific reason. Reminders have been sent to all of them so that they got a reminder like, hey, this is your last chance to onboard for the pro season or ask questions if they have them or whatnot. Of the 389 people that have signed their contract, already 321 of them are successfully onboarded into our pro communication platform, Slack. That channel, all the channels in there are actively getting used already. Everyone's starting to ask questions. They're starting to find partners for each other, and that's really starting to work together. So that's great for us. I'm really excited to see them use that stuff. Last night, if you saw where Athena had posted on the director's Facebook page, we did, Josh Keck and I hosted the Jersey Playbook Seminar. That is available to all pros, sponsors, and directors. If you're a director that's going to sponsor a player, go watch the video. It literally walks you through the whole process of what you need to do for sponsorship. And then I just got word today that as long as USPS likes me, pro jersey samples with the new style and youth and women's sizing is going to be available at the Rock Hill Open. So we're very, very excited about that. There's a lot of positive things happening in the pro world, and I could not be more excited. With that, I want to make sure everyone is aware of what pro qualifications look like for next season, right? 380 people signing contracts, like that just means it can't even get, it gets so much better next year, right? For the US, pro standing is going to be a huge piece, and then open standings is going to take the larger scale of things. When it comes to requalification, we want open standings to really count this year. We brought them back for a reason, so we're going to make sure that they count. And then we're going to go through your state standings just like we did this past year, your women's, your seniors, your juniors, your top in your state, and your top CPI-based players. And then, of course, we're going to have our pro qualifiers that will get you into the top 100, and that's solidification. Canada has their own set of requalification standings. The majority of their stuff comes from their pro standings. Of course, their open standings. They also have a provincial standing that we don't have. And then they have a couple pro qualifiers and some junior events mixed in there as well. So they have a little bit separate, but either one of those requalifications that you're looking for, those links are there. And they will give you all the information and lay it out step by step for you.
All right. Well, yeah, no, I'm excited about that pro field too. Leading off of Kat's last slide there, getting to see the new partnerships and all the pros communicating in their new platforms, pretty cool. Super exciting. I'm going to move over to directors, and we'll talk about directors a little bit. Wanted to show the slide here of the director memberships this season. Obviously, if you're watching this, you probably already have your director membership. You may or may not have noticed that, you know, the regional and state director membership prices came down, so those were lowered coming out of last season. And we have, you know, some cool new little extras down there added to each of those groups. So if you're not familiar with all the benefits there, please check those out. But that's a good little graphic to give you a reminder. All right. Talking about state directors and provincial directors, you know, we've created logos last season for all of our states and provinces in Canada. So these directors have the ability to utilize the logos to help represent their areas, allow directors in the areas to also use those and really build up the players in their area to really like feel like they're a part of something. They have a logo to be a part of their state, part of their province. State directors are really the backbone of the ACL director group. We're really leaning on them a lot this season and going into next season on how we can develop areas, grow cornhole from the grassroots, and come up with new ideas as a team. State directors and province directors do receive emails when new directors in the area sign up, so we can hopefully welcome them to the team. We've asked these directors to create group chats for all directors in their area. So when new things come out or people have questions, you can go to the state director or the group chat, kind of lean on each other. With that, we do want to remind directors to use kind of a hierarchy of communication. So if you're a local club director, and you have a question that's not urgent, we want you to kind of lean on your regional directors to gain some knowledge. And then same thing, regional directors, asking up to their state directors, province directors, and then the state director team can reach out through our group chat to the national team. And we can all kind of learn together. We can cascade things down and cascade things up throughout the group. And just to want to point out a quick one here on the director's guide, if you've not had a chance to check it out, we have a new layout for the director's guide this season. It's embedded on the webpage. So it gives you opportunity to kind of click on the table of contents on the right. It takes you right to the spot on the webpage. So a lot of good stuff on the director's guide. If you have some general questions, you're like, oh, did the points change for regionals this year? How many points do people get now that we're using tier 1, tier 2, tier 3? Did the points change? Well, you can go right into the directors group. You can click on regional director and you can see right there how many points you're getting for each level. So utilize that director's guide. A lot of questions can be answered in there. New format, new layout, so take advantage of that. All right, and then to touch on director commissions, the ACL's used commissions for directors to earn a little bit of money that can help with their clubs, that can help with tablets, can help towards, getting supplies for your group. But overall commissions for the season have stayed basically the same as last year. However, we've shifted the percentage just a little bit to give a couple percent more down to the club level. So when players sign up, and if they're picking a gold membership or a platinum membership, they're going to pick 2 directors. They're going to pick a local club director, and then they're going to pick their state director. Now, they could pick the same, or the regional, sorry. Now, they could pick the same director for both if they play all their events with 1 director, or they could split that between 2 directors. And so we have an overall same percentage at the top level for commissions, but we've changed it a little bit between club and regional or state director. So feel free to check that out. It's also in the director's guide. And if you have any questions about that one, please ask. All right, a couple more slides here. Just wanted to announce, we're doing a lot of sessions lately. We're talking with directors, we're talking with pros, we're talking with licensees. One thing I plan to get started here in the month of October is doing some leadership groups. These are going to be kind of more of a closed group where people that want to join, people that want to talk about leadership, can put their name in the hat and get invited into these groups. We have so many good leaders out there. I want to keep talking about leadership. Directors in this group particularly, we really are the ones pushing the sport forward. And if we can do that together a little more effectively as a team and be better leaders, I want to do that together. So I got a couple slides here. The first one, if you come to the leadership group, you may come in as this next one here shows. You might come in like one of these 3 guys, just staring at your phone, being really good leaders on the sideline, right? But once you go through a leadership group and you come out the other side, you might look like this one. See that? You see the change in those guys? They came into my leadership club, head down, buried in their phone, and then they left the group with smiles on their face, super excited and proud. So I wanted to give a shout out to those three guys. I found that photo on my phone recently, and wanted to make sure I utilized it for something good. Really good leaders there, really good group of directors. So appreciate all three of those guys. All right, and then last thing on leadership, I talked about a moment ago. We have some really good leaders as cornhole directors. What I want to do is learn from these leaders about how they are inspiring people in their community, how they might be empowering people in their clubs, leading to change in the cornhole world, and then ultimately, how can we all get on one shared vision as a team? Myself and directors across the country and around the globe included, to really push this sport forward to the next level.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Michael. That was a great photo out. So definitely important. Oh, you see some of the comments here. Chris, Jamie, Dustin. Perfect. So going into leaders and leadership, heading back into our state and provincial events. So every single state will host a state or provincial championship. So that will be specifically and exclusively for players that live within their state or province where the championship is being held. Now, state directors are also going to be afforded the option to host an interstate event. But it is not required. So last season, we went back and forth between it being required. This season, we made sure that we, provided the option to those who were able to really plan that out and kind of work with each other in order to kind of combine forces this coming season. Now, provincial directors are required to host an interprovincial event. Now, for any state directors that are on this call, just a friendly reminder that if you already have your state event scheduled or your interstate event, please make sure that you do send me an email. Our team is going to review all the emails that come through. We typically try to have that done by Friday. Sometimes we can get it done a lot quicker, but at least by Friday, any emails that come in within that week should have some type of an answer. There is an ongoing spreadsheet that has if it's been approved, not approved, pending. If you have any changes, just make sure that you let us know so we can ensure that all of these events are happening and that they're not overlapping with anything else that's equally important as well. Then, of course, back again is the Director Engagement Program, my all-time favorite program. Exactly what it says, it's a host to earn program. So if this is your very first year with us as a director, this is so exciting to really dive deep into every event that you run, every player that participates in your event. Not only do they receive points, but you also receive points as a director. This past season, we had a plethora of jerseys that went out, Zuka backpacks that went out last season. Miss Stacy Washa earned the ACL Pro Boards. So that was super exciting to be able to see her receive that. Lots of really, really cool things. And we did make a couple of adjustments and changes. One of the things was the percentage that we had this past season. It was the 10 or 20% off ACL shop. There was just so much on the back end to really make that happen. We wanted to make sure that that was replaced with something with equal value, but also provided yourself a benefit. So it does provide an entry into a platinum members drawing. So that's going to be super exciting for everyone. And then same thing with the DEP jerseys and complimentary director fees, World's Experience. So lots of really cool stuff. So make sure that you head on over to the website, iplaycornhole.com/DEP, and it has all the details there as well.
Did it again. All right, guys. Why play ACL? I'm going to refer back to earlier when we were talking about ACL being all about chasing points. It's so much more than chasing points. For someone that's been in this game since they were 15, I can tell you that cornhole within itself is so much more than that. And the ACL truly is a full sense of belonging into a passionate cornhole family, regardless of skill level, right? And so when you're trying to fuel the fire of like competition and prove what you're made of, the ACL really is the only place to be. But at the same time, it's about following your passion, living a dream, whether that is to be a pro, whether that is just to be able to win your local blind draw every week, or whatever that is for you, right? When you feel seen and valued and rewarded every time you play by your director or your other players, it really means a lot. Being the wife of a pro is, I've seen every side of it, right? I've been the regular player. I've been the wife of a player. I've been, I've seen every side of it. And I truly, this community is such a different community across the board in the cornhole world. Because we all are looking for one thing, and that is to grow the sport of cornhole, whether it's for your local bar or for your senior facility, like the senior park down the road that's 55 plus in Florida that we're flooded with. We just want activity across the board, right? We want every single person to play cornhole because it is something that anyone can play and anyone can win. With that, go to the next slide with player types. Anyone can play, anyone can win. But if you're going to be a junior, you have to be 17 or under at January 1. Okay. You cannot be 18 on January 1 and play juniors this year. You must be 17 at the beginning of the pro season. College is anyone that's in an undergraduate program, full or part-time. We have a college and high school national championships at our very first signature as well. If you've never been a part of that event, it is so cool just to go to and see the amount of youth within our sport that truly is going to continue to take over. Adults are anyone 18 and up that is not wanting to play in the collegiate program. Okay. If you want to play in the collegiate program and you're an adult, you cannot sign as a pro. So there are some stipulations within there. And then seniors, the same thing. You have to be 55 on January 1 to participate in our senior program for the season. If you are not going to be 55 at the beginning of the year, you will need to wait one more season. Make sure, the biggest thing, you can stay there. It's fine. It's fine. Now you're going the wrong way. I got her all messed up, guys. She got scared. The one thing I want to push really hard, when we were going through and pulling these pro players from the state standings and all that stuff, it's a manual process. Or at least it was last year. Hopefully it's not going forward, but it was a manual process. And there was a lot of errors and or things we had to go back and redo multiple times because player types on their profile were not correct. Please encourage your players to check their profile, 1, and 2, if you open their profile for some reason and you say, hey, they're 25 years old, they're no longer a junior, but they never changed it, you can change that. You can change it to adult and hit the save button and everything is beautiful. So please update player types and ACL profiles as much as you can and encourage them as much as they can. We want to make sure that for multiple reasons, they can't sign up for things they want to sign up for if they're not labeled correctly and different things.
Perfect. Good segue into the player membership. So player memberships, not too much a change when it came to that, although we do have a couple of pretty cool and exciting new additions. The one that we are most excited about is we are going to have a members only town hall. So this is very similar to like a call to the public where we're going to say, hey, everyone, this is what's going on. Here's some of the updates. Here's some information. All of the members who are at that gold membership or higher will receive an email invitation that invites them. We'll kind of go through everything. We will have special guests, which we're super excited about. We're getting those all rolled out. A couple of partners who will be joining us for some of our sessions as well. So lots of really, really good things. I would strongly encourage any of your players, especially the ones who really, really, really dive deep into all the information. They want to learn everything. They really love the player's guide. They like to understand everything about what we're doing. So a gold membership will definitely unlock that It is a little bit new this season, so it's one of those things that sometimes directors forget. But that's something that I would definitely encourage and just let those players know. So all the information is there on our Let's Play Get Started page. It has everything above the moon, how to get started as a player. Every single thing is there. Which goes into the player engagement program. Again, second year, we're incredibly excited. We learned a ton of things from the last season, heading into this season. And again, the highlight was our dinner at the end of the season. We had so much fun. Naturally, the DEP and PEP players at the dinner said, let's have a blind draw. Michael was fired twice, which is part of my favorite story. Rehired multiple times, but because he is amazing. But it was just one of those moments where it was just so cool to just watch everyone. Stacy did an incredible speech. He's super grateful and just thankful of just everyone, our team. It was such a really good opportunity to just really get a moment to, celebrate every single person who've really worked their tails off all season long. So again, same things with the PEP. A lot of items are similar. We did make a couple of adjustments here as well, including removing that percentage from shop. So with that, we're doing an entry into a monthly ACL open drawing. So we just replaced it with that. So something of equal and or greater value. So we made sure that we made that adjustment with everything else being pretty similar. The one player that I can definitely say who was the top dog of the season was Darren Pilcher. So if you have him in your area, if you ever see him, he wore that jersey proud and loud all season long. He was the first one to earn it. And he is just such a great, amazing human. So if you ever see him, make sure to give him a high five and ask him how in the world can he play in that many events to get up as quickly as he can. Right. So now Open Standings Challenge. Brand new this season, as Kat and Michael have talked about. Probably the last few, I think, conversations that we've had with everyone is Open Standings are back with a force. We made sure that if it was coming back, we wanted to ensure that it came back with a vengeance. So we have both the USA Open Standings Challenge and then a Canada Open Standings Challenge. What is incredible about this is we are going to pretty much incentivize 1,000 players this season. This is huge. Now, one of the things, if a player is going to be traveling a lot, the platinum membership or higher is going to be their key into being a part of the Open Standings Challenge. They're going to receive tons of pretty cool things. So a drawing for a throwdown, luggage tag, ACL Open Challenge jersey, which we can say is phenomenal. That's going to get released probably in a couple of weeks. We'll make sure that the public gets to see those. 100 players receives a set of bags. 50 entered into a drawing for future ACL Open trip. That is for 2 winners, recognized at Stevie's with a top 25 plaque or medal with their name on it. 20 get a free entry into all 6 nationally run ACL Opens for the 26-27 season. Top 10 VIP Worlds experience, that is backstage, warm up with the pro, drink tickets. We all like drink tickets unless we're working. We are not drinking, but for those who are playing can definitely use those. Top 5 complimentary diamond membership for the 26-27 season. And for the number 1 player in Open Standings, it's the Open Player of the Year Worlds package. So once we get all of that kind of rolled out, we're going to really start pushing what all of these items mean, how to earn them. Definitely recommend that you let players know because it's incredibly exciting. And same thing with Canada. They have a top 100 t-shirts, 50 jersey plus drawing for a set of boards, free set of bags, platinum membership, singles entry, and then they get to earn 26-27 ACL Canada Pro through their standings challenge. So incredible things. Make sure that you go to iplaycornhole.com/open challenge to get all the details for everything here.
Yep, super exciting. As you look at that, you might say, oh, well, the best player in the world is probably going to be number 1 in the Open Standings Challenge. But, there's a little asterisk there. Any of the top 100 pros, they're not a part of that challenge. So that is something that all the players in your states can really, try to achieve and chase, knowing that the top 100 pros are not a part of that challenge. So when it does come to open standings, though, however, everyone is a part of that. And this points matrix here shows what is included in open standings. So on the website, your players will be able to go to standings. They'll be able to click on national standings and see everyone in the open standings. That's going to include their 24 local club events, the same regionals as last season, the 6 singles, 6 doubles, 1 state event. They're going to have the opportunity to potentially play in more, whether they play in an interstate event or multiple interstate events. It's going to take their best one for singles and doubles. And then ACL Opens, we did plan the Opens really well this year around the country. Every area in the country has Opens. And so it will take your best 2 open singles and your best 2 open doubles towards the USA Open standings. And then, of course, Canada has open standings back as well to go along with their challenge. Everybody in Canada as a member will be part of that as well. They have 20 club local events included. There are 6 regionals. There are 1 provincial state event. And again, they are running interstates as well, or inter-province events. And so you'll have opportunity to play in multiple of those. And they are counting 1 open singles and 1 open doubles.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Now the membership sweepstakes. We had a couple of directors reach out and asked, I believe in our directors group, when the sweepstakes was happening and if the players had been notified. So our membership sweepstakes has completed. So 3 directors were already notified and have received or were already reimbursed for their 25-26 ACL season. Player memberships. 5 winners have also been notified. Everyone has been notified via email. So if you have a player or if you know a couple of folks who are within that time frame, have them check their email. Sometimes it gets lost in the junk or the spam folder. So just make sure that they are looking at that. Now we will send a couple of reminder emails saying, hey, haven't heard from you. If for some reason we still haven't received some type of response, I would say by about mid to the end of October, we'll go ahead and notify those directors and say, hey, it looks like this player might play under you. So if you know who they are, please have them let us know which events that they want to use for their sweepstakes. All right. Whew, we're getting there, everybody. Thank you, guys. It's been 30 minutes. You guys are doing great. So one of the biggest things, again, we had our myths and, misconceptions and just things like that are just going around. One thing that we are very confident in saying is that we are definitely growing. This is how change happens. One gesture, one person, one moment at a time. And that 110% is this group. Everybody on this call, everyone who goes back to listen to the recording, every single director, not just nationwide, but worldwide. So it is, the US, Canada, all of our incredible countries. We were able to watch the, WCO's event over the weekend. It was just phenomenal, electrifying. You can see that they're growing. They had the record number of players attending their event. So it's incredible. With a lot of things that are growing, we listened to everything this past season. Lots of feedback. This came from directors, from players, from pro players, from pretty much everyone over the moon. And one of the things that our team as a whole, and that is the entire team at the ACL, that is from Stacy all the way down to all of us who are here on the call, making sure that we are able to implement some of the things that are going to make you all excited. So with that, we have a lot of exciting things. Some of this will be new to some of you who have never seen some of these before. Some of this will be a little bit of a repeat, but we want to make sure that we definitely end kind of everything on a really good high note. We hope that you guys get excited. Tomorrow is October 1st. It is the kickoff. This is like Christmas Eve for the ACL. So get pumped, get excited. We're super excited. I don't think we're going to be able to sleep. Hopefully we do, but we might not be able to because we have just been incredibly excited for this. We've been counting everything down. So with that being said, number 1.
Schedule. So excited. If you are returning, you know that you got your schedule earlier than you've ever gotten it before. Could not be more excited about that. It took a lot of determination to get that one done in time for us to release at Worlds. We were dead set it was going to happen. And the amount of conversations and calls and contracts that were signed while we were at Worlds was absolutely insane to provide you with this schedule. We are so excited, though. If you haven't checked recently, clearly the Rock Hill page has been up, but Winter Haven, Richmond, and Albuquerque's event pages also just went up, and registration opens for those tomorrow. So the links will be ready to go first thing tomorrow morning. And so we're very excited to have those already up. Your other pages are coming soon. We've been actively working on those and getting everything together. Canada also already has one of their event. They have an event in October 24th through 26th in Quebec. That page is already up. And then they also have one scheduled for March and May. So definitely check this one out. You're interested in going to Australia on a last minute trip. They've got one in November. And then Europe clearly just kind of wrapped theirs up with the WCO Cup this past weekend. If you missed watching that, it was crazy. It was so good to see the amount of people that attended that event. So schedule is out. The open schedule that you see is the open schedule we will carry throughout all of the regular opens. That schedule will not change unless something, God forbid, we find in this weekend just doesn't work, right? But Buchanan's there, so I have all faith in the world. Everyone else running opens this week, you better step up because Chris is going to set the bar high. I have full faith. And then I'm running Winter Haven, so it's been a while since I've been behind the table. I'm going to need a little slack on that one, okay? No, but all in all, we're just very excited for this season.
All right, talking about excitement. The app that we've been talking about forever, it's been in development since last season. It is getting so much closer to ready. We're getting sneak peeks often. There's some promo videos that we saw sneak peeks of. So you're going to start hearing a lot about the app that's coming. Your players are going to be hearing about it. Directors are going to be hearing about it. It's coming and it's coming soon. Super excited. This is a game changer for all of us. As we talk about developing the sport and taking the sport to the next level around the whole globe, there's no better way to do it than with a brand new piece of technology. It's going to make our player base excited, our directors' job so much easier. We talk about stats, we talk about all these different things, and the app is going to be really incredible. So super excited, ready for some good stuff to come out on that. And all the directors that we have are going to be the ones that get to use it first, and super exciting.
Hey, Michael.
Yep.
A question. Is it a myth that there's going to be multiple different ways or multiple apps or different ways to get into it? Or what's the reality there?
Yep, that is a myth. It is going to be an all-in-one app. So it's not going to be, players download this, directors download that, and, the fans at home, the grandparents or, the parents download this. That is a myth. And so it's all one app. If you're a director, anywhere from a club director, anywhere just to running an event in your backyard during a barbecue, all the way up to us at the national level running the professional largest tournaments in the world on the same piece of technology. So super excited. Can't wait. And yep, talking about the app and talking about stats and all the data that's coming for directors. We've been talking about CPI a ton. CPI is really taking a hold this season. It's kicking off officially tomorrow. And, players PPR will switch over tomorrow to the new season. CPI has been switching over the last 10 days towards an accurate number for the new season. Your regional events are going to be CPI based. You could go to an ACL Open. You're going to register based on your CPI. And when that new app comes, there's going to be a ton of data available there for directors to utilize. In the meantime, we have some, I guess we'll jump to the next slide real quick. In the meantime, we have Director Data Research tab coming to the admin portal. It's almost ready. Should be coming out here shortly. We've created and shared spreadsheets with all directors, starting with state directors and then shared with everyone to kind of give you some insight, some research available on CPI players in your state. We're going to bring that into the directors portal. And then once we get to the new app, it's going to kind of explode for everyone to see. So super excited about that.
All right. And the ACL Club engagement page. So if you are a director and you are not actively following it, make sure that you head on over on Facebook, follow it. We're going to be dropping a ton of information, sneak peeks, some cool things happening at Open, some just really, really fun, engaging items. Now we are going to bring back and really kind of reorganize the Director of the Week photos and things like that. So once we get all of that kind of squared away, we'll get all of that information posted. So make sure that you do follow the club engagement page right there on Facebook. I'm sure you guys can see the link, but we'll also make sure that we post some of these links as well in the directors group also. Quick little teaser. We have a new season, which means there are some new designs. We do have these, well, blurred. That's not semi-blurred, but they are blurred out. We have a brand new director engagement jersey for this season. It does not look anywhere close to the jersey that anyone has earned. So if you earned a jersey this past season, the next one is pretty darn awesome. So get ready to earn that one. Walk around with it, wear it. It is going to be amazing. I am excited to see who will be the first one to earn that. That'll be a huge celebration, I think, for all of us. Player engagement jersey, same thing. Does not look the same as it did last season. Colorway change, a couple of pretty cool things. All of that will be getting dropped on the ACL Club engagement page as a little bit of a slow roll. And then in addition to that, the Open Champions jersey has also gone through a complete redesign for the new season. So we're incredibly excited. All of them are done, completed, and we will share that with everyone probably in the next couple of weeks once we get a couple of teasers out there. All right, perfect. So now we have the national team ACL director interactions. As we said, we have had a ton of crazy stuff during the off season as a team as a whole. This is inclusive of the educational sessions. So as a director, you're receiving educational sessions. You get to schedule one-on-ones with the Michael Gonzalez to ask him anything from, what's going on with CPI? How do I create an event? You can have a lunch with him. Apparently he's buying lunch for a couple of people. Just kidding, but maybe. You can even talk about the Ducks game. So see how that goes, and you can either chat with him positively or talk to him about how they do. He's very lucky that Mr. Little Gavino hasn't decided to become a director just to have a one-on-one with Michael to talk about the Ducks. Focus group session. So if you were with us this past season, we had about 2, I would say, focus sessions where we asked a lot of questions. We received a ton of feedback from all of the directors. Getting started webinars, the director Facebook page, state director group chat. So if you are a state director and you are not in the group chat, you should all be in there. But if for some reason you are not in our separate group chat, make sure that you contact Michael and he'll make sure that you get in there. Director table interviews. We've already had 2, have been fully recorded. The very first interview is going to drop this Sunday. So you guys get the teaser on when it's dropping. So it'll be this coming Sunday. We have about 9 or so of them already scheduled or getting ready for completion. Let's see, members only town hall. That's going to happen bi-monthly. We're going to let all of you know when the first one is tomorrow. So that is for anyone with a gold membership or higher. This is for the players. This is for all of those who have a membership. Pro seminars. Kat is working her tail off and getting all of these pro seminars ready to rock and roll. ACL Academy is still up and running with lots of cool new features there. Everybody here, between players and directors, you are going to get a ton of emails. There's going to be an email coming in on some Mondays with just some, hey, how was the weekend? Here's what we have coming up this week. You're going to get a check-in on Wednesdays to let you know what our team is actively working on. If you were with us this past season, it is a very long list of items that as they're completed, we take them off. That will happen on Wednesdays. And we're going to have emails for a state director leadership on Fridays. We will have player emails that will be happening in between that, and those ones will be bi-weekly. And then, of course, the ACL Club engagement page. So a ton of things, lots of resources. We have our YouTube channel, which is what you're all watching today. That is at ACL Events. And then we also have our Director Resource Center. That is through our Kajabi platform. Todd is making sure that all of that information is sent over to directors as well in your onboarding email. Whew. And with that, here is a lovely picture of our director photo that we took while we were at Worlds. That's a perfect way to start our Q&A. I'll go ahead and drop a couple of these questions up here, and then we'll make sure that we get those answered for you guys. All right, so first one is from Kim Gardner. Understanding the 389 is today and likely more to come, I believe the total number offered was 695, and that number is unlikely. Will the number be backfilled?
All right. So I saw this comment come in. So I did math actually, because I wanted to make sure I could give an accurate response. We actually only offered 619 spots. The end of the day, when we were going through things, there were states that didn't have women or juniors within a certain standing. Alaska, we were only able to pull one pro from, which, by the way, signed a contract. So we should have a pro in every state. If we don't, I'm going to be really upset. So with 389, it only leaves 230, which as of right now have not signed or declined. I can tell you right now, my decline list is only about 60. So it really isn't as bad as you think. Also, a lot of it is just not feeling that they weren't ready for it, right? It wasn't something that they were prepared for. It wasn't something they thought it was going to happen. So I'm not upset about the number. With that being said, I do plan to go through and look at our numbers and see where we are in each one of our categories at the end. I would like to at least have someone in each group from every state, if it's something that's feasible. So I would like to get through the contracts, see where we land. It is possible we might offer some additional spots within the women's, the senior, and the junior groups to add those spots that were available because they were so one person pulled from each one, kind of go from there. But there is no promises. I'd like to see where we land, and we'll kind of go from there.
Perfect. All right, and next one from Kim Gardner. Is there a PDF of the player and director guide that can be downloaded or printed?
This one, I understand, in the past, directors, they like to print these out and like to have them available for people, at their local events. I've done that in the past. We've gone away from that just because changes are made and changes happen. And specifically last season, we had some changes that came through with the elite division, and people had downloaded the PDF version, and then it caused a lot of confusion at our events. So we've just gone to the web-based one. That way we can make updates and changes and not have information out there that may be inaccurate, that the directors don't quite realize need to be updated. So short answer, no. Long answer is caused us some headaches last year. We want to kind of avoid that.
Perfect. All right, and then logos. I have the state Florida ACL logos, but cannot seem to find the standard ACL logos to add to flyers. Can you please point me in the right? Yes, so all of these should be in the Director Resource Center. Now, we do have a couple of things that are being updated in the back end, so we will make sure that we have that particular information. And we'll also make a note of that to make sure that there's either a direct link or we can get that linked over to you. So good question, Kim. We'll make sure that we get that to everyone probably by tomorrow, if not by the end of the week, just to make sure everything's cleaned up and accurate for what we have for this coming season. So very, very good question. Right here, Motor City Cornhole. Will we be able to accept cash for memberships and sign them up?
Yeah, well, the answer is yes. We will be able to do that. I don't know exactly when. So it's a task list for IT. It's in progress. So the answer is yes. I just don't have an ETA on that.
All right. Kim Gardner asks, will there be a spreadsheet for DEP and PEP tracking like last season? If so, has that been set up and sent out? Where would we find it? Great question. We do have a spreadsheet that is starting. We do have players that are going to start earning their PEP, so we will be getting that information pooled. We do have some things that we are wanting to be done through the website, but we will definitely get that spreadsheet once it is ready and available. I would say probably within the next week or two. There'll at least be some type of information there for you guys, Kim. So great question. John Does Things asks, can Mike touch on which of the items that CPI factors in carries the most weight? PPR, wins-loss, DPR, or is it pretty even?
Yep, I can give you that. John, I was watching the YouTube video earlier, and you were right in the background behind, I think, Jordan Power, if I remember, so that was kind of cool. But yeah, for CPI, PPR does carry weight at about 40% or so. So PPR is kind of a powerful driver in that. Then there's another number that we come up with that comes out of win-loss percentage and the types of events that you're playing in, which also gets close to that as well. But PPR is going to be the largest driver of your CPI.
All right. John also asked, senior date, may be wrong, on or before 12/31/71 is 54 ? I only know because I was born 12/20/71 and I'm only 54 this December.
Okay. Yeah, we'll look at it. Kat was right though when she said 55 on January 1st. So if that date was a typo, I'm not sure. It's possible, but 55 on January 1.
Perfect. Kim asks, do we have the names of directors and players that won? Will that be posted somewhere for everyone to see to show players it happened? This is something that we have discussed, and we'll be having that conversation. If you look over on the sweepstakes page, it actually lists how it is that you find out every single person who has won. So there are instructions on there, Kim, but we are going to have a conversation as well to see if there's anything that could potentially be posted. But we just strongly encourage that those players check their email. They would have received their email. It would have come from me, and that had been sent out a couple of days ago, I believe. Good question. Let's see here. Right here. John Does Things. Let me know if you are looking for beta testers.
Yep, there'll be stuff going out via email to our directors in the next 8 weeks or so. Really get things moving quickly.
Perfect. Kim asks, is the club engagement page players and directors? 100%. It is a public-facing page that will have information that is there to showcase everything that the directors are doing, celebrate what players are doing within the community, and really showcase a lot more this coming season. So we do have a heavier focus on that page this season. All of that is going to start pushing out on October 1st, which is tomorrow. So it's been a little bit quiet while we get a couple of things prepped and ready for it, but great question. Comment. Thought I'd throw that right there for just a second. Jamie Kuhn says, ducks.
Gotta let it soak in for a second sometimes.
Yep. Marinate, and we're good. Let's see. Can we talk about those shoes?
Shoes.
Right here. Let's see. Oh, did you say when the first members only town hall is scheduled? We said that it has been scheduled. That is going to be updated tomorrow in the in the directors group. We have tons of information. We have that update. And so that update's going to happen every Wednesday, and we'll let you all know when that is going to be scheduled. Members are also going to be receiving their very first email this week as well, notifying them of when it is happening and who the special guests might be as well. All right. Perfect. So if there's any other questions, go ahead and drop them. I'm just going to show a couple of really cool comments, but if you have any other questions, we'll pull those at the end. I don't know if Kat and Michael have anything else fun or exciting to talk about.
I know. It is, isn't it? Oh, it's on. Dustin is referring to my comment about Chris setting a bar high. It's going to be a good one this year. I'm waiting for it.
Yep, it's going to be good. We have some new certificates I think we're going to have to start dusting off. See who gets the first one. Sit and go record. Sit and go record.
Look, she's on Kim. Kim, you better be listening.
Yeah.
Athena thinks that her sit and go record is like untouchable. We might have to touch that in Winter Haven. We'll have to see how that goes.
Love that. We'll have to maybe we'll do a sit and go tracker. We'll see who's currently holding it. I'm sure we could pull that information. Maybe Michael, try to get the top 10 sit and go records of all time.
Yeah, I think there's some controversy over last season's record, so we'll start fresh.
Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Wild.
Jamie's not scared, but he bailed on us for Albuquerque. So I feel like he is scared.
Ooh, called him out. All right. Kim, communication rocks. Yes. That was a heavy emphasis across the board. So we are communicating times probably 1,000 this season. So give it a full season, and this time next year you can let me know if it was too much or just right.
Y'all should see Athena's communication plan. Let me tell you, Michael and I will never come close, okay? I'm more of a like, as it comes kind of girl. Like, yeah, I feel like I need to give you an update here. Athena's like, boop, 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 boop. I was like, I can't. I don't know what to do with it. Y'all better be ready, I tell you.
It's wild. It is a 7-day communication plan, so be ready, everybody. Let's see. There we go. That. Let's see. Kim added thought. Since the club Facebook is public, could we post winners there? It would be a good tool to push to that page. So we are actually going to be sending everyone. We are going to have a very fun hashtag. We're going to have a special tag that we will be asking all directors to use this season. Make sure that your post is public. If it is not public, it will not work. But if it is public and you use the hashtag and you tag the ACL Club engagement page, we are going to be mass pushing everybody's posts. So podium pictures, regional pictures, whatever it is you have that showcases players or what you're doing, we're sharing it. That's going to be the place to be. So we want it to be a crazy amount of information for everyone to see all the cool stuff that everyone is doing, because you guys are all doing amazing things. Corey White, I'm excited for the season. What sort of director tools will you be sharing with us to print? Corey, we actually have a digital director's kit that is becoming very long. So if you choose to print it, you can definitely do so. But they are very much organized. You guys are going to be receiving all of that, and we're going to do one final look-see of it tomorrow. What is amazing is the format in which that kit is in is that we're going to continuously add to it throughout the season. Also, the kit will be in the Director Resource Center as well. So lots of really, really cool things. Michael's been scheduling a ton of director sessions for the rest of the season. I'm trying to remember, how many did we have this past season, Michael?
A lot. I don't know the number. A lot. And we're going to do more this season. So lots to come, especially with the new app, I'm sure.
There we go. Oh, Jamie, you ain't scared. All right, Jamie. Let's see. Can you do a social media director training for posting across multiple social media programs? What is super exciting about this, Corey, is in the directors, in the really awesome kit that you guys are receiving, there is an entire social media director training session, information, how to create hashtags, how to do everything. And we will make sure that Michael also adds a social media director training on the list of items that you all want. But we do have some really, really cool stuff, really good engagement items to do at your event. So it is a plethora of information that you. All right, perfect. So I feel that we covered a little bit of everything. Just making sure.
1 hour and
right
on time.
Beautiful. All right, everyone. Well, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us, listening to us ramble for an hour. And when you all know how to get a hold of all of us, get ready for a mass amount of information, lots of communication, and for an incredibly exciting season.
Athena, I have one favor to ask of everyone on the call.
Oh.
If you are in Rock Hill this weekend, all three of us will not be there. And all of us are having a little bit of FOMO, so we need a favor. If you get a chance to go to the director's table, whether it's to bring Chris a Celsius or just give him a hard time, remind him that we love him, and just give a little fun. We're so excited for all of us to not be there. So we are very proud of Chris, and we look forward to see how everyone does this season. Full-blown FOMO.
100%. Cool. Thanks, everybody.
Bye, guys.